Oh shit, we're good. You Sistas Fontasy, welcome back to another ep of the pod. I'm your host, Kamish, with my co-host, Bobby.
What's up, boys? Welcome back to another week and another ep. We had a fun week 6 in the NFL. Good football, good matchups, a lot to dive into.
Yes, sir. Before we start, shout out to StreamYard for hosting the pod this year. Anybody looking to start a pod, check them out. That's StreamYard.com. All right, first things first, we just got a shotgun video in. What's your thoughts on the video, Pop?
Great video. I put it in the chat already. It was nice to see the boy back behind the camera. We know he's a natural, and I think it really showed. He made a comment in the chat that he really wasn't going to kind of keep up with what the gun videos have been, no edits and everything else, but of course just had to string us along, and he put together a nice little edit. Called me out at the end, big mistake, but at the very least, I really liked it, and the tweet was just a big boy move right there. So shout out to you.
Yeah, shout out T. Awesome fucking editing. I was impressed. I know he's away right now on business. So he made the time to get the video done. There's always no excuse. Shout out to Slim and shout out to the tweet. That's pretty fucking funny that the gas station had nothing else besides the tweets. So shout out to you, Slim.
Do we know if our guest is incoming?
I don't know what's going on with the guests, but the show goes on.
All right. Well, before we get started, just like to shout out Zen sponsorship Citrus 3. Really appreciate that. I've been in contact with the UFC, so they sent me over some of their new cards. So we're gonna maybe do a live break on these, potentially after the fight or something like that. We've got the Panini trading and the Panini Select, the Blaster box. So shout out to them. Excited, hoping for a McGregor, and we're gonna send that out to PSA, get it graded. Go to McGregor, John Jones. Be really pumped. So shout out that. And last but not least, shout out Monspot. They actually sent me a clipper to be featured on the pod. So Monspot for man's body trimming. Comes with a couple different lengths and angles. It looks really really good if you got to shave, not too sharp. If you got to go in between the legs, trim up the bush. So, and then you could always throw a blade on, throw this clipper on. Super easy to attach. Monspot. I went with the Army Green. I thought it was just really fresh, nice color. So, pumped to use that. I'm not going to use it on camera because I am going below deck downstairs when I try out Monspot. So, appreciate that.
I don't know where my fucking computer charger is, and my fucking shit's gonna die, man.
Please excuse us for the technical difficulties.
I'm trying to think where the fuck it could be, but shout out to Proper 12, repping the fucking beanie. Had a few drinks before I got on the show to bring some fucking energy, and I'm gonna patch in an emergency guest. I'm gonna try to get in real quick. But let's tap into these rankings. Fucking technical difficulties for me back to back fucking weeks.
Damn.
All right, here we go. We got the rankings this week. Very interesting. Some movement here. We got myself coming in at number 1 again. Lee will do it at number 2. I'm on a mission, bumping up 4 spots to number 3. No More Chubby, number 4. Tito Soda Jesus, number 5. Ghost Montes, number 6. It's Personal, bumping down to number 7. I Just Love My AK, number 8. Never the Bull, 9. And Leo at 10.
Yeah, I got to reading a lot of the comments. Really liked what was said and pretty much everyone's. I'm pumped to break the top 3. Really wasn't expecting. I thought maybe I knew top 5, but to see that top 3 is a big jump, real confidence boost, and it's personal. Jumping down to 7 has got to be the shock. He definitely was stealing win after win early in the season, and looking at his points per game and his totals, it is crazy that he got away with some of those. So to see him bump down to 7, I'm sure it's a real slap in the mouth for him, and he's pissed. So got to see how he recovers, or is this the beginning of full exposure? Never the Bull, tough loss. He had second or third highest points this week with his score. Tough matchup versus me. Match of the week. We'll dive into it a little later, but struggling, man. He's definitely struggling, but he's active. He's still fighting, and hoping he bounces back. Because I definitely want him in the mix. I don't want to see him at the bottom. I want to see him below me, but not that far.
Speaking of Never the Bull, we had our guest fall through on us. We got an emergency guest. He came right in. We got Never the Bull live at your Sistas Fontasy podcast.
What's up, boys? Usually I'd say happy to be here, but everything about this league depresses me at the moment.
Matthew, if you could just talk about the rankings. I need a little bit to look for my computer charger, so just hold us off till I'm back. If you could give us a little overview here.
Yeah, I'll dive in. I think I'm on a mission. Being 3 in front of No More Chubby is a mistake. I don't think his team's that good. Very touchdown dependent. Very lucky against me this week. It's personal. Can easily be, I guess 7's fine for him, but it could be 8, 9, or 10. He's a 4th and 2 bullshit slant to AJ Brown, with him being 3 and 3 with the second least points in the league. So I don't know. Everything looks to be like fairly graded here, other than I think I'm on a mission is 2 touchdown dependent.
Oh shit.
I'm so glad. I planned on throwing touchdown dependent out multiple times this pod, so I'm glad you actually opened the can.
I mean, I don't even know if it's the right word. Maybe I just don't score enough touchdowns, but I'm in every matchup and I just can't score.
Okay. Technical difficulty solved. We're back, Matt. It's great to fucking have you, brother.
We go through a lot of the rankings. He's not a big fan of the amount of mission spot, claiming there's a touchdown dependency on that squad, which is.
I think No More Chubby right now is a stronger team. McCaffrey going out, you're going to be doing the carousel at quarterback in the future, but you're definitely in the top 4. I'm just a little bitter about the loss.
Absolutely. And speaking of which, let's dive into these matchups.
Real quick, Matt, any comment on the shotgun video we just received?
Oh my God, that was phenomenal. Tom, he did under promise, over deliver with this video. I thought the video was great. I mean, one thing that stood out to me was the picture of him that I photoshopped like 6 years ago of him and Sam Verga. The fact that he still has that on his phone means he's probably using it for other reasons than just putting it in the shotgun video. It's a little weird, but I thought the video was great.
Yeah, he went deep into the bag for some of that content. Back to an old Slim Boy footage.
That's the thing, though. Was it really deep in the bag, or does he have that shit ready to go?
Good question. Very good question.
All right, first match here.
Wasted no time.
We'll start off with our match of the week. We got I'm on a mission, taking down Never the Bull. Crucial match for Never the Bull. 116 to 105, very close. Mike, if you want to start here.
Yeah, I'll just comment on my team and let Matt talk about his boys. We performed. Yeah, I had guys get in the end zone, absolutely. But when you look at the averages and you look at the timing, that's a lot of how I formatted this roster. Ramondre hadn't scored since week 2. Knew he was due. Amon-Ra, I had the anytime touchdown bet. I knew he was due. And you're just looking at when they're getting in and out and timing it. You could just know. Thielen was a little bit of a wild card. Been consistent early. You're almost waiting for the drop off. Not even close. I mean, went above and beyond expectations. A little bit of a management area on the Ferguson spot. Pitts was the play. So, a 2-point tight end. And then Justin Fields. Again, I can't get the timing right with him. Stroud's going to be the guy. He's anyway. Fields got a thumb injury, but 4 points. So you had a 4 point, a 2 point. So there was some weakness there, but the rest of the guys did their job. Jaguars D, great pickup, and then Jason Myers too, not out of a kicker. So well balanced as always. I don't think I've had anyone hit 30. Maybe McCaffrey 1 week, but I'm just trying to keep balance on this team. I don't want all the weight on one guy. If McCaffrey goes down, we still have Javonte Williams. We picked up Elijah Mitchell again. I'm ready. Next week's going to be another steamroll, and I'm climbing, baby. Good match, Matt. I mean, I tip my cap. CeeDee Lamb went off. You made it interesting. I definitely was nervous if I saw some of your guys get in the end zone. So this wasn't an easy matchup. I had to get it done, and you put together a good team considering some of the trades you've made and everything else. So it was respectable, gentleman's match.
No, it definitely was. Tom, can I dive in here?
Of course, go ahead.
The Ramondre touchdown was fucking bullshit. The Amon-Ra St. Brown touchdown was horrible tackling, and he ran across the field widthwise to get into the end zone. Bullshit. The Thielen touchdown was right over the outstretched arms of the Miami cornerback. Bullshit. Then on my side, you have Deonta Foreman, 4 straight carries, gets it to the 1, first down on the 1-yard line, and the backup QB for Chicago runs it in. So I lost the touchdown there. Darren Waller held in the end zone on the last play, lost another 6 points there. So, I mean, a couple of things this match could have broke either way, but for me not to capitalize on a 5-point performance from Justin Fields is disappointing. He actually outscored Joe Burrow in the second half of the 1 o'clock games, which is insane to say. But, I mean, this was a big one for me. Half my team's on bye, so I am staring at 1-6 in the eye. I do think my team is poised for wins after that, but I have to find a way to win this week or it's not even going to matter.
Yeah, great match here. I was going to touch on Waller, too. He should have I thought he was due for a touchdown that game, and especially at the end, that holding call was just brutal. But good match from both you guys. A lot of questions of Poppy flexing Myers over Devonta Smith, but, Myers outscores him there. Ferguson with 2 points and Fields 5 points. When Fields went out, I was leaning towards Matt, but Poppy's team too many touchdowns on that side to win this matchup. And now talk about this boot, Matt. Have you ever booted before?
No. I did
So
not.
how are you feeling going into it?
I'll be fine with it. My first shotgun video, I didn't have anything to shotgun. I only had bottles. So Simone actually can attest to this. I actually poured 3 beers out to make do for not having a shotgun and chugged all 3. Was able to put them down. Couldn't say any words after, so the video didn't work out. But I think I'll be fine.
Do you think you're going to go one shot, or do you think it might be a chug, pause?
No shot. There's a pause in there.
It's up the whole time going
It
down.
might not be the quickest one you ever see, but that thing's not leaving my lips.
I mean, and we've seen some shotgun videos and things like that boost managers and their teams the next week. So I tell you what, he doesn't put that thing down. I think he might pull off a surprise one. But if his team does see him put it down after making this claim, could put a little doubt in their minds as well. So hopefully, I mean, I have faith. I have faith in the kid. But
my only win this year comes after a shotgun. So
love that.
All right, we got the defeated but now 1-5 Leo routing. I just love my AK 110-91. You love to see it. I think Rudd won last week, and we've been waiting for Rudd's team to take off. So he wins last week, and you think he's going against a defeated Leo. He's going to put 2 wins together, and Leo comes out, drops a season high 110. Henry shows up for him big time, 18.3. Garrett Wilson, 13. Nico Collins, 10. Just an overall good team performance. Purdy with only 7. So, if he had Lawrence in there or something, it could have been either even a bigger deficit. But Rudd's team, man, Kittle has just not been a strong tight end in fantasy for as long as I can remember. You're better off streaming tight ends off the waiver wire than Kittle at this point. That 49ers offense is just too strong, or I don't know what the deal is there. I guess he's hit or miss. As always, I'm not a fan of DK Metcalf. It seems that Devontae Adams is now declining a little bit after coming off a strong start. But, when your kicker has 18, it's a tough loss for Rudd.
Absolutely. I'm happy for Leo. Happy to see him make some trades and get in the win column. Looking at his roster, if the Jets offense keeps up and Garrett Wilson keeps getting these touches, he's going to fall into, maybe a top 10. I don't know what he's sitting at right now. Nico Collins got Stroud hitting him, so I love that. He's getting his touches. And then he's got some consistency. Pacheco's been doing it in Henry, so he's going to get some more wins. That's not the last you've heard of Leo. And for Rudd, he's always finding himself in the 90s, high 90s. Just needs a breakout guy because it seems like his middle of the pack is 10 is kind of peeking at him. Kamara and Bijan kind of quieted down, so he needs someone to really break out to get a couple more wins each week. But tough.
Looking at this, it's hard for me to. I agree with you, Tom, on Kittle, but he's like solely responsible for handing Rep a loss last week. So I have like a little special spot in my heart for him right now. But I go up against Rudd this week, so I'm hoping that we see more of the same here. And I'm happy for Leo, but at the same time, bittersweet for me as well because I talked so much shit about him pretty much all year, and now I have the same record as him. So it's hard for me to look at these matchups and even say anything because how bad it is. But this will be the most muted you ever see me.
Now, Matt, do you think your team's off to a bad start due to poor drafting, trades, or just like the skill of the league? You've never been in a league with the managers of our brain capacity, a lot of giga brains in this league. What do you contribute your losses to?
No, I think the top talent in this league is probably the best that I've been a part of, but I think there's only 3 managers that I put in that category. I think everyone else in this league sucks. I think the biggest move is starting Josh Kelly over DeAndre Swift in week 3. I should be 2-4 right now. I lost by 0.12 on a bullshit 4th and 2 slant to AJ Brown. Next year, you're going to get die.
That was fucking. Forgot about that.
Yeah, and 2-4, I'm feeling all right. I think I have the 5th most points scored in the league, the 2nd most points scored against me. I said it during the draft, law of averages. Hopefully, it swings around for me. We'll see. But I will say if I can make a playoff push, I'll take this thing in the playoffs for sure. Just got to get there.
Okay, moving on to the Birdie Bowl. No more Chubby, man. You thought he was done and out when Chubby went down, and look at him now sitting at 3-3. Routes Tito Soda Jesus. Him only putting up a whopping 67 points. When do you guys want to start? Go ahead.
I'll jump on to Chubby. Right now he's got a banged up Montgomery. Mostert's been pretty consistent, phenomenal, and especially with the A-chain injury, that's just a great pickup there. But look at his receiver 1 and 2. Unless I'm missing someone on the bench, you have Olave in the mix. But DJ Moore, it's just going to be issues in Chicago with the Fields QB and that whole offense. And even Baltimore, I think they're very due for a loss. Zay Flowers, I don't know. I'm not going to say what his rank is, but he's not a real powerhouse. I mean, Sam Laporta's got to be probably the 3rd or 4th guy, so in the tight end spot. And again, tight ends will make you or break you some weeks. And then Puka, we saw now that Kupp is back in that offense. His touches, targets, and everything is declining. So I see holes in his team. I see some inconsistent offenses. So I'm not too afraid of him. And then Patrick Mahomes, he's been good. They're getting wins, but not breaking out and winning people's leagues like I think Hendo was expecting. So that's my thoughts on that matchup. Good win, but not afraid.
Yeah, I think the Mostert trade is probably going to wind up being like the trade of the year. It's going to get him in the playoffs because Mostert's going to be like a top RB 1, 2, or 3 for the rest of the year. I do think, though, he's super thin at running back. Montgomery going down. He doesn't have another one rostered here that's a starter. I think he picked up 2 or 3 running backs today. I'm sure we'll dive into that. So that'll help, but I think those are more like Band-Aid fixes. I think the being thin at running back will be his downfall. And Tom's team, on the complete contrary, we're seeing him picking 4 or 5 running backs, I think just out of spite to me or a jab at me during the draft, coming back to haunt him because he has no depth at wide receiver with Jefferson being down. And can you do me a favor, Tom, and click on these running backs that he picked 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th round? I don't think any of them are ranked in the top 10. Maybe ETN.
ETN is I think the 3.
Yeah, so ETN, but other than ETN, and he was a second pick, I think.
ETN number 3, Joe Mixon 19th,
horrible.
Damian Pierce 24th,
horrible.
Aaron Jones 48th,
horrible.
Zeke 36, and Khalil Herbert 25.
So in those pivotal drafting rounds, he has one guy ranked in the top 18 for the running back position. I told him that wasn't a good strategy. Again, I'm 1-5, so it's hard for me to sit here and say anything. But with Jefferson going down, you're going to see a lot of weeks where Tom's putting up 68 points like this, and it sucks because he's versing Rep this week. So
yeah, and I think it's make or break for him. Full disclosure, we were talking about a trade, but I mean, at this point, he has one back to really move around. You could try to buy Mixon low, but the real target here is ETN if you are going to make a trade with him. So then he's going to have to make a sacrifice on his top back and go after some receivers, which we know he kind of leans towards these strong running backs. So is he willing to give up with that top 3 running back to put some depth into this team and spread it out? Or is he going to hope for these 21-point weeks out of ETN consistently? I don't know. Look at the averages. When you see guys exploding, sometimes it's not bad to sell high, mix in some of these receivers that are set to go off, and find yourself a couple wins later on. But with JJ out, we don't know when he's coming back. That Vikings offense looks horrible. He may not rush himself back. Doesn't really seem worth it. So even that as a trading piece is a lot of risk. So
that's the move he has to make.
Right. But even these top teams, you're looking at like middle of the pack guys, me, Hendo, Bozomi, who may benefit from making a move on that. But it's a lot of what if for us, and not really going to roll the dice 100% until some more news breaks, or you're getting a piece like ETN where you can guarantee yourself some value right away.
Yeah, I think personally he has to sell super low on Jefferson to either Tom, Lee Pack, even Kickler at 4 and 2 could probably. Maybe just Tom or Lee Pack. I'll throw Kickler in the mix on like the low end, but he's gonna have to sell it for like a middle of the pack wide receiver and some bench pieces just to get some depth on this team because I don't know where he's getting scoring. You look at the lineup. I think my lineup with 5 guys on bye is going to outscore him again this week. I just don't know where this team scores.
All right, I'll jump in here. No more Chubby. Not a lot of sexy names, but I think this team just got some sort of juju around it. It's popping off some weeks. 95 is a respectable score, but you got some names tapping into my McGregor. You got the Laportas, the Nakuas, the Mahomes, the Mostits. I think he's got a solid squad. Mikey said he's not afraid of him, but we've seen Hendo explode for the most points in the week twice, and these are his guys. So watch out for Hendo. And yeah, as you said with Tom's team, he's got no depth at wide receivers, and it's gonna be a scary few weeks for Tom moving forward. So hopefully Jefferson can rush back soon. But even if he tried to trade me Jefferson, I don't really know, what I would give him. I would maybe give someone off my bench, but none of my starters would go for Jefferson at this point because we don't know his future. If you want to like an Addison or a Lockett or a Madison, he could hit me up, but maybe Mike Evans. I do a Mike Evans Addison package, which would probably help him. But
could be even Evans, Madison, Addison, but to me is worth it for you. You win the league if Jefferson comes back.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But, it seems like these guys sort of gravitate towards Lee Pack. We saw his brother give Lee Pack a great trade. So it wouldn't surprise me if he went to Lee Pack. Moving on to Lee Pack. Coach Montes versus Lee will do it. Lee, the highest point getter of the week. Ghost Montes, 85.5. Matt, why don't you start us off here?
Yeah, Lee Pack's team, he just always finds a way to do it. And Tyreek Hill has been unstoppable. I think he's a tough team to beat. I do think his team is better with the Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill stack. But he just continues to move guys and week after week continues to put up points. So I don't know if he's paying for some super app or whatever he's doing is working. So I can't really say much about it. Ghost Montes, I feel like Bolzomi always has my back in the chat. So I don't want to say anything bad about his team because I need some support because I feel like everyone else is pretty much against me. So, I mean, cup returning, his running backs didn't put up the numbers that we think they're capable of. There's definitely some upside here. He's got some good bench pieces of Marquise Brown, Joshua Palmer looked like a big target getter for Herbert. I think he'll be in more matchups. I think he'll have a better showing than he did against Leapak here.
Yeah, looking at Leapak's team, a lot of people call him a juggernaut. He's got the Infinity Stones, but looking at this team doesn't scare me. He's had a good week here, but I see holes. I see opportunity. I'm going against him next week. Gonna be a good matchup. But Ghost Montes, yeah, he's got cut back. He got hurt. He's nasty. But yeah, some of his team, is hit or miss. So he's got to find that consistency if he's gonna want to string some wins together.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Matt really hit it on the head. I think with Bolzoni's team, we just there's some talent there. We haven't seen the quarterbacks like Hurts and Mahomes go off as much with the running game. I don't know if they're just trying to protect themselves, getting older, what it is, but not running in as much and not exploding as much. So those early quarterbacks draft picks, I think, are biting some people. They might, if you look back at the board and who was available to really strengthen their team, they might change. But we'll see. You're going to have those weeks where they do explode and start pounding them back in, especially late in the season when they're making the playoff push and sacrificing themselves. But he's got some pieces there for sure. And then Leapak, yeah, just constant fresh faces, and he's timing things at the right time. He's up at 5 a.m. picking up drafts. He's on top of the news. I mean, if you talk about someone who's locked in and dedicated, you may question some of his decisions, absolutely, but he is on top of the ball. There's strategy. It's calculated, right? So he's going to be a threat. But I hope when I match up with him, I mean, can Hill do this all season? I don't know. Higgins, we've seen struggle. Kelsey, we've seen struggle. So you got to just time it right. And if Hill does it all season, then God bless him. But I don't know.
Yeah, hold on. One more thing on these teams looking at them. I was looking at Bolzomi's team again. Ridley, Ingram, having both of them when Jacksonville scores 37 and they score 11 points combined, I think he has to look at a trade. And I'm starting to think that maybe something between him and Tom, where he sends Ridley from one of those backs, could really help his team, and he plugs in Marquise Brown. Something to look at going forward.
Good insight there.
Yeah, for sure. And then again, really quick highlight was the Justin Tucker pickup. Threw $6 at him after the Hendo drop. 19. I mean, Hendo's got to be hurting. Two big moves from Hendo was dropping Thielen, who we've seen push my team into some wins, and now Justin Tucker. So everyone got a close eye on Hendo's management, and man, he's got to be kicking himself for some of these moves. But again, law of averages. I think Leapak should sell Tucker high real quick.
Two things I want to point out. Number one being Tajay Spears. I just saw today that the Titans were looking to move on from Derrick Henry by the trade deadline to potentially send him to a contender. So Spears on his bench. You're looking at another RB1 at Leapak's stable. And also, I mean, he sent this shit in the chat about Kyler Murray. I'm not huge on him. I don't think he's any better than Herbert, but what's your guys' thoughts on Kyler Murray coming back?
I can't remember the last time he was fantasy relevant.
Mm-hmm,
I thought the was like, I realized I had this guy on my bench for so long. What an idiot I am. I didn't realize it was like, he's coming back. So I don't know. Leapak's obviously a good owner. He's got a great team, but he's got some weird takes.
Yeah, I mean, Kyler Murray's like another Justin Fields to me. If they're running around and they'll have one of these explosive games and then just taper off and be irrelevant. So I'd stick with the consistent back there and let Herbert throw for 300 every week, and when he gets the end zone, you're golden. So does nothing for his team.
I think the was more of like, oh, Murray's coming back. He's so good. All right, who needs a quarterback? Let's trade.
Trying to pump value into him already. Huh? Yeah, he's a smart kid, man.
Mm-hmm. And moving on to the last matchup, Bada Bing versus It's Personal. And I think during that Sunday, it got very personal. But Bada Bing staying undefeated, 6-0, pretty impressive in my book. I'll let you guys take this one away.
Yeah, I mean, there hasn't been much to really say each week. Your guys have just done their job. It's been balanced. It's been good. I think steal of the draft was Kenneth Walker. I think he's been in the end zone every fucking game. Just everyone thought Chardonnay coming in, taking spots from him. I had Walker last year. I thought he was a good back. I think I let a lot of the news get in my head, but great RB1, just touchdown after touchdown. So you got to love it. Diggs is really blown past what my standards were before, and Keenan Allen. I mean, with Herbert throwing to him, it's a powerhouse team. It's personal on the other side. We had the Eckler Pollard combo, both playing on Monday night, and you got to expect one of these guys. 14 points is a respectable game, but you got to expect one of them to go off. You would think that the floor for them was 10 each that game, and then someone possibly into the 20s, and they just didn't have that explosion. AJ Brown's been great. Hate seeing it with Devonta on my team, but he does still have a good team. So they're not scoring as much. And again, I think it's that Eckler Pollard situation. Eckler got hurt, and the Cowboys' offense has been wishy-washy. Obviously, they've got blown out at times, and they play good. It's a very up and down with them, but it's a good team.
Yeah, I think it's a good team too. What was the final score here? How much did they lose by?
96-82.
Oh, so it wasn't as close as I thought because Justin Herbert really fucked up a throw to Eckler that should have been a touchdown for him. I thought that would have mattered, but it didn't. I do hate the Gabe Davis start. Although he scored 4 weeks in a row after I said he shouldn't be owned, I stand by the fact that he should not be owned in this league. I think he gets like 3.5 targets a game, and it's either like he's going to catch a 60-yard bomb and maybe score or get like 20 yards. So that didn't play for him there. I was correct. Michael Pittman Jr. with Gardner Minshew was a much better play, in my opinion. He missed out there. But his team is good. He's got a top caliber wide receiver, 2 top 5 running backs, respectively. But somehow you fucking find a way to win again, Tom. And it's just insane. I think the steal of the draft is on your team. I don't think it was Kenneth Walker. I think it was Keenan Allen. And I remember when you picked him, you were upset about the pick. But he's going to be a top 5 wide receiver for the rest of the year. Mike Evans is playing great. Your team is just solid through and through.
Kickler, no love lost here. Great matchup, brother. Caught me at a bad point during Sunday. I think it went down about $600. I was pretty drunk. So caught me at a bad spot. Great little beef, but you know you're my little bro. Good matchup. I think I win here because of bad managing on your part. I feel like Brian Robinson has been great for you all year, and you give him the bench. Gabe Davis, very questionable. I would have for sure went to Michael Pittman. And very bad luck on Eckler and Pollard. You know, if both those guys see the end zones and have the numbers they have now, you barely edge me out. But, yeah, to be honest, I was most nervous about this matchup than any other ones throughout the season. I definitely thought this week could have been my week where I got taken out, but I did not. Walker and Keenan Allen have been great picks for me. I'm hoping Mark Andrews, man, could really pop off for me because that could be the difference maker in my team. I finally have Barkley coming back next week, and I guess people don't want to give my team the respect as when you look at Lepak's team and he's such a juggernaut, but I feel like my guys just got fucking heart, man. They just battle week in and week out. And I think I'm going to make a statement against Lepak next week.
I like it.
Excited for that match of the week for sure.
Let's actually take a look at that quick.
Yeah, I was going to say, can we dive into that matchup?
Just real quick, before you guys dive in, I'll give a little bit. We got ESPN projecting me as a favorite here. We got Kyron Williams out for Lepak, and we got Jonathan Taylor coming in, who hasn't been great for him. And now you have Saquon Barkley coming back for me. He had a slow first half last week versus Buffalo, but if you watch that second half, he really started to get going. I think it would be too much for him this week.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the matchups. Cleveland's defense is legit, probably the best defense in the NFL, so I don't like that matchup for Taylor. I do think Swift will outscore his projection. Tyreek Hill could do anything at any point. I like the Kelsey matchup. I do see Lee Pack's team probably scoring more than they're projected, but I also feel the same for your team. So I think Keenan Allen outscores his projection against KC. Mark Andrews is due. So if he just finds the end zone, 10's an easy number to surpass. The only question mark I would say on your team is Mike Evans, only because I saw that Baker had a questionable designation. I don't know what the injury is. But if he plays, I think this is going to be a really solid matchup, but I think you come away with the win.
We can see Addison in there potentially. The lineup's not set in stone. And also, I think Barkley goes over his projection. I'm seeing Barkley at least 20 plus. The Giants seem to have found their offense versus Buffalo. I think Barkley punches in 1 or 2 this Sunday.
I think Barkley outscores his projection if Tyrod Taylor plays. I think he scores more when Tyrod plays.
Got it.
Yeah, I'm excited. Going to keep a close eye on it. I can't wait for the shit talk and the banter between Bada Bing and Lee, the 2 top dogs right now. And just know that the third ranking is going to keep a close eye on this matchup, and I will find a way to enter that top 2 conversation. We're not done. We're not happy with third. We're getting on the top, and so looking to see who comes out with this and where I can make my move. I know when I face Bada Bing, I've got the 49ers on bye week, so my Ayuk and CMC is going to be in question. Who knows? Maybe I part ways with him before I play you. Maybe I see if I can get some other value there, but or maybe it's worth it just to roll over and see if I could do it without. But I've got my eye on number 1, and whoever that's going to be, like he's coming, baby. So
yeah. I've had week 9 marked off my calendar as a loss for you, so I've been looking forward to your bye week as well. What I think is interesting about this matchup, I just noticed it now, is if these lineups stay the same they are, the difference could be who Baker Mayfield connects for a touchdown with. Is it Mike Evans or Chris Godwin? That could be the difference in the whole matchup. I think that's pretty interesting.
I think Lee's team falls apart here. But moving on, we didn't get to touch on Survivor, which there's 4 people left. And interesting enough, it's the 2 top teams, me and Lee Pack, and the 2 bottom teams, Rudd and Leo.
Wow.
Very weird. Who do you guys think goes out this week? I think it's got to be one of the bottom 2.
I put my money on Rudd just because I'm versing him, but with my historical gambling / fantasy life, he's going to put up 150. So it'll be one of the other 3.
Yeah. I would say Leo or Lee Pack goes out this week.
I think we're going to say Bada Leo or Rudd for sure. I think especially the 2 top dogs facing off. Hopefully it's a nice tight match with some good numbers, but I think Leo or Rudd's going to say night-night.
What do you think that means, that the 2 top teams and the 2 bottom? Is that like consistently bad and consistently good? I think that's what it means. Like they're consistently bad, like around 90, where they never score less than that, but never score more, and you guys are just consistently 120.
I'm not too sure, to be honest. I think it's a combination of some of the top teams we've seen who are in the middle have popped off for 100, 120 plus, but they've also gone for 70, 80, 90s. And they also have a combination of bad luck with matchups where, they'll beat some of the other teams in the league. But the matchup they had this week, they're not beating them. So
yeah, Rudd's had some tough matchups this season so far.
I think it's just a ceiling and floor kind of scenario where those bottom teams, they're not racking up wins, but they have a lower floor where they could just keep the low 90s enough to keep them away from a shotgun. But they just don't have the high ceiling right now where guys are exploding for them and giving them the dubs they need. So
yeah, that's what I was getting at. High floor, low ceiling.
And touchdown dependency, you have to always factor that in as well.
That's huge. That's honestly, that's why your team's shotgun twice this year, because you're so touchdown dependent.
All right, so if we take a look here, we got the new logo that was revealed this week. Very proud of it. Me and Lee Pack were talking with the designer, and I had this image in my head, but I just couldn't explain it. He sent us a few options, and the first ones were laughable. We paid a pretty penny for this, but thank you to StreamYard. I reached out to them, and they helped me cover some of the cost. but the first few options were laughable, and then all of a sudden this appears before us. It's exactly what I thought. It gives the league. I mean, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but you think of your Sistas Fantasy, you think of a blonde in a fucking bra with fucking big tits, football designed, fucking beers throughout the fucking letters. I'm in love with this logo. What'd you guys think when it was revealed?
Yeah, I loved it too. This is the one I voted for out of the two. I love the beers and the letters. Obviously, the blonde is hilarious. I think she's a little too tall for Tom Lembo, so I think he'll have some issue there. He would have liked to see like a 4 foot, like 3 girl up there. But either way, I think it's a great logo.
Yeah, I'm pumped. I mean, looking at the beer foam in the lettering, that's a nice touch, especially just we definitely thrive around the boozing and the shotgun videos. The girl is just 10 out of 10. Football titties are just very, very special. I mean, it's an animated character, but it gets me a little bummed out. So I love it. I'm a pump for the merch. Pump for the merch. We can put some stuff. Maybe we can integrate some champions on some of the merch and things like that. But this really legitimizes us on top of what we've already done, and just growing the brand one step at a time. So, pumped.
Yeah, so touching on the merch, I'm gonna get together with Lee, and we're gonna put a few designs together. We're gonna do sweatshirts, crew necks, t-shirts, long sleeves. We're gonna look into the hats. Any other ideas you guys got? Please shoot me or Lee Pack a text. Put it in the chat. We're gonna design a whole bunch of shit. We'll send it in the chat. See what you guys think. Which designs you like best, and then once we finalize, all the stuff we put together, I'll text you guys separately. See what you guys want to order. We'll do a whole big order for the league. We'll all get the merch at once. Pump for that. So if we have a league send and we're all fucking repping the shirts, tees, whatever, we fucking dope. We take a nice picture. I definitely want to integrate something for the champion. A champion's sweatshirt, something, a jacket. Definitely need something for the fucking champ that could either be passed around or we could do a new one each year, put the previous champions' names on the back, or if we did patches with trophies. So any ideas you guys got, please let us know.
Tom, on the subject, quick question.
Yep, go ahead.
Is there? I know some teams have like a set brand logo, like myself, Never the Bull. Is it possible to incorporate my team's logo on any merch?
Yes, for sure.
Awesome.
That's just something you're gonna have to text me. We'll have to customize. I'll call the warehouse in, see if they could put your patch on it. But you could definitely make that happen. It might be a little extra, but can make that happen.
Yeah, well, I need that.
Love it, love it. Even like maybe some football pennies with our names on the back would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just spitballing here, but let's jump into the waivers. I do have to get to work tonight.
Sorry,
I think you meant pennies. You said pennies, but I think you meant pennies.
Totally forgot about the waivers. Let's see here. So much more to talk about. Your guys' basketball game, Giants Jets coming up. We'll go to the waivers.
Yeah, while we're pulling them up, just want to say Drunken Bronuts had their first game on Tuesday out in Port Jeff. We did take an L, but a lot of potential for our team. A lot of us were off the couch. Maybe we had minor warm-ups in, and just to be in that setting and back on the battlefield with the boys, it's intense. The competition is there, so it's not going to be a boring watch. We'd love to see the league come out, fill up the stands, and I think we're definitely going to feed off that energy if the boys come out. So week 2, 7:30, Port Jeff on Tuesday. Right after Monday Night Football, you need something to look forward to. Come on out, show some love, and expecting us to only grow and hopefully get some dubs.
Love that.
Yeah, I would love to be out there with the league watching you guys. Matt, who do you think the best player was the other night on the team?
Higgins,
phenomenal athlete, that kid.
Great athlete. Definitely has to look to kick a little more on the drive. On himself, I was wide open a few times, but kid's an athlete. Kid's an athlete for sure.
Who do you got number 2?
From that game or just on the team?
Yeah, from that game.
Honestly, probably my cousin Kyle. Played his role. I think he shot 2 for 3 from the field. Had a block, a steal. Also had one of the whitest plays I've ever seen in basketball history on a fast break. But he played great.
Yeah,
Lots of.
in terms of
I'm sorry.
efficiency, Kyle was definitely that guy, and I think emerging into the top three, we're going to see Christian. The Robinsons are known to put balls into holes and cups. We have Caitlin, and I think Christian's going to be a big asset here.
Yeah, I think Big Bro's got to tell him to just stay in his lane a little bit more. He definitely likes to just throw them up, but I mean, I've seen the kid play basketball. He's definitely a great player. He's also like it's like he has springs in his legs.
I've seen your previous games. I've seen Kyle play. Kid plays with a lot of heart. But diving into your newest signing, Nick McAnally, I heard a lot of big things about him. That he's a really solid player. How do he make out for you guys?
Cherry's just so fucking loud that I've been hearing him talk about Nick Mack and suck his dick for about 3 years now when it comes to basketball. And it just put an image in my head that was unfair to Mack, probably impossible for him to reach. So I had higher expectations. I think he'll find his groove. He'll be a solid asset for us. But going in, I would have said he was better than Higgins. I don't know if I would ever make that comment again. And it's not his fault. It's completely Cherry's. Nick Mack's a great basketball player. Cherry fucking ruined it.
Got it. All right, let's dive in. Let's dive into the waiver here.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it quick. I'm gonna pull the plug. If you guys want to finish up without me, more power to you. Give the league what they need. But we got. Let's just look at the big ones. So no more Chubby was running back hunting. Obviously, grade 18, 18, and 16. Went after Mason with a possible CMC missing Monday night. We still don't know what the story is there, but from what I was reading, Elijah Mitchell's still the guy. He's earned his stripes in that offense. Mason was efficient and had a good game, but Elijah's limited touches were just due to him coming off injury and not practicing much the week prior. So surprised to see him not make that play as well. I think he landed Hunt and then was out of fab for the other backs. So Hunt found the end zone. We'll see. Ford seems to be the guy there, but could pay off for him. So he was just kind of throwing darts at the wall. And
he actually landed Evans and got Hunt as a free agent.
Yeah, exactly.
So like he missed on him here, but no one else picked him up. So
this is the all the Wednesday night, like when they first came through.
Gotcha, good catch. Yeah. So again, he went after four backs. Yeah, four backs. He was throwing a dart at, and then it was Evans, and then he did Hunt. Good catch. And then I saw Bada Bing went after Curtis Samuel, a little play I made the week prior, had to drop due to buys and roster limitations, but he's, I think, either 3 weeks in a row now, 12-plus games. He's solidified himself as the receiver, too, in that offense, and, he kind of surpassed Dotson, and Curtis Samuel was having a nice little season. So, again, if you have a guy on buy or you just want to try him out in the flex, it's an option, but I saw the play. No one else bid, so 11, not too much, but could have got away with less. And I jumped on Gino. I know Matt put a little play on him, just a buck.
Well, it was after the Howell one, if you see. So Howell was the guy I wanted. If I didn't get Howell, I wanted Gino.
Well, were they both the same?
Yeah, both $1. I put Sam Howell above the Gino one. I had the tiebreaker 3, so if I had bid the same amount as you, I would have gotten Gino. But Howell was the guy I wanted. Law of averages, baby. Giants can't stop 2 teams in a row. No way.
Love it. Yeah, so I had to make a little play for QB with Fields and Stroud on by. So I think I like Gino. I'm a fan of Gino. I'm a fan of the Seahawks. They don't win like big division games, unfortunately. They find a way, but he's always slinging the fucking ball. He's got weapons, and he's thrown for over 300 twice this season. And I'm expecting a big week, so I'm riding for Gino.
Yeah, honestly, I think Gino has a much higher floor than Howell. I just picked Howell because I need someone to just break out, and I think if there's any defense to do it against the Giants, so. But I wouldn't be shocked to see Gino outscore Howell. I think Howell just has higher upside.
You got anything big here, Matt, or no?
No, I mean, I think I wish Hendo would have landed Hunt for 18 because I would have just fucking ripped him apart for it, and it would have been hilarious. But the fact that he got him for free is pretty cool too. Evans I think he's going to be a 1-week guy. So I got made fun of for spending 40 on Roshan Johnson, who's going to be a 3 or 4 week guy. That's about $10 a week. He spent $18 for Zach Evans for 1 week. That's $18 a week. So I'm not really sure where he was going for, like how he was making fun of me and then does that. I think everything else kind of makes sense here, though.
One thing I cannot believe you guys have not pointed out, but
The Leonard Fournette.
Yes, obviously the Leonard Fournette. How many times has Lee Pack dropped him and picked him up?
It's just funny. He sees one little blurb about him that I think there was rumors he was in a workout. I forget what team it was, but the workout fell through, so he'll drop him again in 2 days. I think Trouble Hubbard, though, was a great pickup by Lee Pack. I think he might take over the job from Miles Sanders, even though Miles Sanders is healthy. And I just went at no more Chubby, but I do love the Browns D. I think that's a defense you can, plug in all year, set it, forget it type of defense. So good move there.
Yeah, potentially less than $1 a week on that buy too. So great value.
What about this Rashid Rice pickup, Matt? Has he been on your team before, or have you picked him up and dropped him a few times, or no?
I might have picked him up for free and dropped him last week because I needed running back help. I drafted Kadarius Toney. I don't know, maybe that's what you're thinking of. But Rice is starting for me this week, for a fact.
One thing I will say, ESPN was a little late to push these waivers through. I was fortunate enough to work the night shift, so I am up on these hours when I happen to be working on those Tuesday nights. So it is nice. It was around like 4:50. I had texted Lee Pack and said, "When the fuck are these waivers going through?" Answered immediately. So alarms have to be set at that point for him, and then he made a couple moves and drops. So he's setting alarms and getting up and making moves. So guys gotta be quick, and if you don't want it that bad, then you don't want it that bad.
Timeout.
Boys, that's all she wrote for Mikey. I got a shift, so it was a pleasure, Matt. Thanks for jumping on last minute. It was a blast. Like I said, we have our beef, but I am rooting for you to be in the mix because it's not as exciting if it gets out of reach for you. So,
I promise you this: even if I'm not in the mix, I'll take pride into ruining people's chances to go to the playoffs. So I will be here. 1 in 10, I will be fucking firing on all cylinders. So
I love it. All right, boys, finish strong for the people, and I will see everyone this week. Later.
Talk to you later.
I just have one thing. Everyone says Lee Pack's setting alarms. No, it makes sense if the waivers are processed at 3:30 every week or 4 a.m., whatever the time is. We see Lee Pack at 3:30. He says he's setting alarms for it. But now this week we see a 5 a.m. waiver. ESPN pushes them through late. How is he setting alarms for 5 a.m.? How is he supposed to? ESPN texted him on the side.
You're right. He's awake.
We're pushing him in late. So set your alarm for 5. This kid isn't sleeping. Someone needs to talk to him. He needs help. He's not sleeping. I don't know what's going on with him. Stop saying he's setting alarms. The waivers got pushed through at 5:14. Lee Pack picks up his guy at 2 minutes later. Is there a notification?
No, he's awake. And dude, the funny part is he was probably refreshing the app on ESPN from like 3:30 to 5:14 every 5 minutes.
That's had to of what happened because I don't think there's. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. I don't know if there's a notification when the waivers get pushed through.
There's not. I would know.
But if he's refreshing, the waivers get pushed through at 5.
Sorry, you might get an email when your waiver, like when you put in a waiver request and it doesn't go through. You might get an email from ESPN.
But we just see him start firing off 5:16, 5:17, 5:19.
I'm checking now to see if I got any emails. Yeah, I was pissed because I stayed up last night. I stayed up as long as I could. I wound up getting to like 3:45, and I looked at previous weeks. That was the latest that ever went through. I thought I was good, and I must have crashed right after that. But there's no way I was making it to 5:14.
Yeah,
we my whole work day for that too.
We see him at 5:16, and then his latest acquisition at 4:07. That must have been when he awoke. So he was up all night.
Wait, can you go to that? Mikey got in his head bad. He picked up the guy he dropped Jordan Mason, the guy he just spent his fab on, because Mikey said Elijah Mitchell still has the job.
Yeah, he just picked him up for free.
I'm sorry. Hendo was the one who put fab on him, and he didn't have enough fab. All right.
Yeah, so we see him at 5:16 and waking up at 4:07 and getting Miko Hardman. Yeah, talking in the chat that he's wide receiver one. Must be a little bit sleep deprived if he thinks he's wide receiver one because there's no shot in hell.
Yeah, that's horrible. I mean, he'll be an asset for that team. I think they do like some nice screens and like end arounds and stuff with his speed, but he'll get 3.5 targets a game at most.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Any emails or?
No, I got no emails, only trades. But it might be a setting you can set. I don't know. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Otherwise, this kid's literally up till 5 a.m. staring at his phone, refreshing it, which is someone should call somebody for him.
Yeah, I mean, I know last week he got offended, but he might have some of a problem. But should maybe might have to start doing drug tests for the league. It's an unfair advantage to be up at that hour for the
That could be a PED.
What'd you say?
In fantasy, cocaine's a PED.
Yeah, so we might have to start doing some testing for him. What's the plans this weekend, Matthew? What's the plans?
I got brunch for my sister on Saturday, and then after that, I'm probably going to get home and just be locked in waiting for Sunday. My whole season rides on this week. So,
any college football plays or NFL plays that stick out to you that you want to give out to the league?
Whoever
you're a big anytime guy. Honestly, I would love to hear an anytime.
I was going to give you one. Whoever gets the nod for San Fran in the backfield, anytime it. Just because McCaffrey's not there doesn't mean they're going to change their whole red zone scheme. So that running back's going in.
Got it. What's your plan on Sunday? Just hanging at the apartment or?
I don't know. I forget why we couldn't do a league send this week, so I'm not sure who's around and who's not. I think
Hendo's in Florida.
Hendo's in Florida. All right.
But could be a birdie potential, you know. Lembo's throw a good party when he's out.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, if you're not at the Garden, I'll be there with you. Otherwise, I'll be locked into TVs.
I think I'm going to depart from the Garden this weekend. Could be 2 weekends in a row. Honestly, didn't have a great time. You know, Garrett and Mikey are putting in bets behind my back. Mikey actually gave me 2 losers. Damn. I go down 400 after the 4 p.m.s. I put 400 on Diggs anytime touchdown to try to win it all back. And didn't happen, and I uninstalled both FanDuel and DraftKings. So not sure if I'm gonna come back this weekend, but
I need to say something. Do you find that DraftKings odds are like incredibly worse than FanDuel's? I don't know why anyone's betting on DraftKings.
No, I find the opposite.
Dude, me and Comp have been putting in bets together, and my payouts are so much greater than his for the same exact bets.
I actually have found the opposite, that DraftKings actually offers better odds.
So then they're changing the odds per person, I guess, because I mean, maybe it's the type of play.
I know for any times for sure. I know for any times that the odds were definitely different.
And FanDuel's were better.
No, DraftKings.
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's weird.
All right, we'll be together this Sunday possibly, so we'll put in the same exact bets and see what happens.
Yeah, my problem is that, you know, I kind of paint the board too much instead of betting 1 or 2 things and letting it hit. And I kind of realized that as a bettor that I need to bet one thing, put a big unit on it, you know, neither walk away or roll half of it over. But then Sunday, I just went crazy, painted the board, lost everything, tried to double back, and didn't work out.
I will tell you this: if you're okay risking 600 on a Sunday, look into an anytime round robin. You know what that is?
No, I don't.
You pick let's say you pick 8 guys to score anytime touchdown, and you do a 3-leg parlay round robin. It takes those 8 guys and makes every possible scenario of pairs them in 3-team parlays. And then if 4 of them hit or 5 of them hit, you hit 4 different parlays. If none of them hit, you're in a really bad spot. But
yeah.
Something to look at if you find yourself almost hitting a lot of parlays.
I mean, I'm not necessarily okay with losing that amount on a Sunday. It just can't.
I said okay risking that amount, not losing.
I mean, and not necessarily okay risking. You know, kind of got ahead of myself. You know, it doesn't kill me, but I'm not okay with it. But yeah, so this was a great episode, brother. I appreciate you coming on. We wanted Leo off his first win, but he's in Texas. Lepak's always a good guest. He was coming off a win. He was gonna fill in, and just the stories you hear from this kid for excuses is insane. He could be on the waiver wire at 5 a.m. but can't make a 8 p.m. podcast. So Really appreciate you coming out. You're in a tough spot in the league, and you brought a lot of energy to the pod, to the league, and we all appreciate you, brother.
All right, man. I appreciate you. You do a great job as the commission. I'm happy to be here, even though I'm sitting at 1-5.
Yeah, I think I don't think this year is your year, to be honest, but I think you'll be back next year, brother.
I already have something in store for you. I remember it might have been the last pod or 2 pods ago. You said you don't view my team as a threat. I already created the video and put like a clown filter on your face. So I'm hoping for the chance where I get to use that. But
I mean, it seems to this point I was right, brother.
We'll see. If we played this week, I outscored you. Just lucky matchups, but we'll see how it all plays out. A lot of football left.
Yes, sir, Matthew. Hopefully, maybe see you Sunday. I'll talk to the Lambo, see if they want to do something behind Hendo's back, because we'd love to get over there with Hendo on vacation.
All right, bro. Sounds good.
All right. Later, brother.
Bye.